Hey guys, what's up? It's Mark, the car guy. Alright, so I had a couple questions on turbochargers and how they work and that kind of stuff, so I'm gonna give a little, I guess it's kind of like a tutorial about how they work. So, turbochargers are a huge topic in any kind of racing, performance, car world, if you're in that kind of clique or whatever, because it can increase your horsepower by a lot, but it won't increase your weight of your car that much. Like here's a turbocharger right here, and that's what they look like. And turbochargers are a type of forced induction system. They compress the air flowing into the engine. So air will flow in through one of the valves. I believe this is it right here. It's kind of hard to tell since they cut it open, but it's hooked up. This is an intercooler, and it's hooked up to your exhaust. And in the advantage of compressing the air is that it lets the engine squeeze more air into a cylinder, and the more air means more fuel can be added for the air-fuel ratio. Therefore, you can get more power and in a bigger explosion every time your cylinder comes up and meets the top of that block. I'm not sure if you guys know how engines work, but that's how it happens. When the cylinder comes up and hits the head of that block, it makes an explosion. And in order to achieve this boost of the turbocharger, it uses the exhaust, like I said before, from the engine to spin a turbine inside. It's just right here. Inside the turbo, which in turn spins an air pump, and it acts like a fan without a motor, where it needs the exhaust, which acts like air, which acts as air, and it spins like the rotor, or like the blade, the fan in there. You can kind of see the blade right there. You can kind of sort of, and yeah, this turbine, and the air will push this around, and that's how basically it's worked. And the turbine in the turbocharger can spins at up to 150,000 rotations per minute, and that's about 30 times faster than any car RPM out there, which you can obviously see it's way faster, which is why it gives you so much extra power. And because it's hooked up to your exhaust, it can become very hot. Well, it's not going to become very hot. It is very hot. So you just got to watch that, and you got to make sure that it's hooked up to an intercooler, like that one diagram that I had before had, because it makes sure it stays at a relatively cool and temperature, and make sure it doesn't blow up on you. Basically, see, this is an intercooler right here. It acts just like a radiator. So if you're considering on adding a turbo to your car, there's a couple things you'll need to know, and a couple things you'll want to add to your car in order for your car to be able to take it and all that kind of stuff, and not affect your actual engine, because that'll be very costly to fix. So first thing is, people that have turbocharged cars, especially nowadays, it's a lot more expensive than insurance, and so you gotta take that into account. Make sure you have enough money set aside, and just contact your insurance provider and ask, hey, if I was to get a turbocharged car, how much would it cost me per 6 months, 3 months, a year, however you pay yours. And you're gonna want a blow-off valve and a turbo gauge. Okay, so I'm gonna try to explain this as easy as I can. So a blow-off valve lets go of all the pressure in the turbo every time you shift from a gear. So you go from one to so I don't know if you guys have ever heard this and you just didn't really realize it, but it's usually on like little Hondas and that kind of stuff, and it happens on Subarus, especially WRXs, STIs, because they all come with turbos, but not all of them come with blow-off valves. Actually, I don't think any of them do. You'll have to put that in after. Anyway, it sounds like it's kind of like it kind of makes it like sound. I don't know. You'll just have to hear it, and you'll know what I mean when I hear you. When you hear it, you'll know what I mean. And a turbo gauge ensures that you're getting the most out of your turbocharger. It's like an RPM gauge, so it's making sure that you are running at safe levels, and that I'm trying to explain this as easy as I can. Run at safe levels, and it can also make sure you're getting the most out of your turbocharger that you can. Basically, make sure that you're maximizing it safely, of course. And if you want more info about this, sorry if I wasn't clear. I was trying to explain it as much as I could. I know I stuttered a little bit. I'm sorry. Go over to my where I personally went for years for all this before I got into cars, before I turned 16 and I got into doing stuff in my own cars. Mighty Car Mods, their channel. There's these two Australian guys, Moog and Marty. They're awesome, and you guys should definitely go check them out. They show you how to install intercoolers, blow-off valves, turbo gauges, turbochargers, anything you'd ever want. And they just come out with a new season where they're making a drift car. Well, that's not really gonna help because they're just talking about suspension and all kind of stuff. But go back to like season 2 and 3 of their 5 season, and you'll get good info and how-to videos on how to do all this stuff if you're really looking in to do it. Alright, thank you. This is Marky Mark, the car guy. Make sure to like this video and subscribe.